Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amelia, and before I get into the video I want to apologise for not being entirely active for the past 2 weeks. I haven't been really commenting on people's videos or even posting videos of my own. That is because I have been on holiday in Cornwall and have really not had much time to do any filming or editing, and I did not pre-film anything. I know, a rookie mistake. But I am, in my defense, a rookie. So yes, there were no videos for the past 2 weeks. I'm trying to correct that now by filming a whole bunch so that I can just get ahead and get started on everything that I need to do. But that actually brings me pretty nicely into the topic of this video, which is ways that I feel like I have not particularly been the best booktuber, ways that I feel like I have neglected my channel, where I've gone wrong, things which I just mess up on constantly. And this is a little bit inspired by Jessie Hunterberg's Bad Witch Confessions, and this is my own booktube version edited for the sphere that I am in, and that is Confessions of a Bad Booktuber. Confession number 1, I don't have a good camera. I film on my phone. I can't afford a good camera. I can't afford to rent a good camera. I just genuinely don't have any way to film other than my kind of shitty phone camera, and it's not even an iPhone. It is a Motorola Moto G6, I think, and yeah, it is just not the best quality of video, and I do desperately want to improve it, but I can't afford to, and that actually is a big insecurity of mine, not being able to afford the right equipment. For example, if you look over here, this is my lighting setup. I just don't have the things I need to do this in a much more professional way than I would like to. Confession number 2, I keep looking at the center of my screen, which is the viewfinder for my phone, because I film with the inside camera. That's where the microphone is, and I don't want my audio to be super quiet. That has been a problem in the past. So my eye contact keeps flipping left and right, and it's a little bit disconcerting, and I notice it a lot, and it gets to me when I'm watching my own videos back. I'm really sorry about it. I want to fix it. I'm just trying to figure out how. At the moment, I'm thinking my solution might be taping some cardboard over the screen. Confession number 3, I never really remember to do my makeup and hair before I film. This is the first time I've actually had freshly washed hair on camera. My hair is also kind of a tricky texture. It's fine, but it's quite textured. It's very curly. As you can see, that's not straight hair. And I don't brush it just because that makes it look even worse and even more awful. So it's very hard for me to have nice hair on camera. I also don't really have the energy to do my makeup a lot, just because I feel like it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and so does filming and editing and everything, and it's just a lot of energy that I have to put into something, especially as someone who also has a chronic illness. It can be very hard to make myself look presentable for the camera, and that's usually what ends up being cut out. And I have this insecurity within me that makes me feel like that's the reason that I have stagnated as a channel, because I'm not beautiful enough. And I know that that's very high school and probably not true, but it gets to me nonetheless, and I worry a lot about that aspect of my kind of booktube career and the way that I present myself to others. Confession number 4, I don't script my videos enough. I try to script them in a nice way. I try to have the sheets of paper on me, but I'd never try to memorize the scripts before I film. I am literally not organised enough for that. I don't spend enough time doing it, and I always end up being kind of super awkward and having to go back and check my script, which I used to put on the shelf, and like look in the middle of videos, and it makes it really difficult to edit everything, which is just such an impossible thing to deal with, such a mess. And yeah, my editing just was not great. Question number 5. Speaking of editing, I don't own any Apple products or any Apple software or anything at all, which means that I don't have iMovie, which means that I don't have cheap free editing software that I can access that has decent transitions and effects, which means I literally use Windows Movie Maker to edit my videos. And I know that that is not the level of professional that I am aiming for. I know that. I am disappointed in myself for not trying harder to find a better editing software to do the work I need to do with regards to this channel and with regards to making my videos look nice. I just can't be bothered to spend so much money on a video editing software, especially when I'm about to be going to university, and I don't know if I can afford expenses like fancy video editing softwares and things like that, and I do actually feel quite bad for prioritizing having savings over spending them on worthwhile investments, because I just don't like spending money. Number 6, I think. I don't keep up with the latest releases. The most recent release that I have read, I think, if I take a look right now, is The Cruel Prince. I think it might actually genuinely be The Cruel Prince. I don't keep up with new releases, which means that I can't review books as they come out, and also I'm not able to spend that money on new releases, which means that I just genuinely don't get out good reviews in time for other people to see. And I feel bad about that, because I know that part, like the whole reason that Booktube exists is for people to keep up with the latest releases and things. And my taste is also quite unconventional. I read a lot of archaeology books, I read a lot of Neil Gaiman, which I haven't really seen in the wider Booktube community, which makes me feel like I'm kind of on my little island out here, and I'm really the only one who's interested in this sort of thing, which very much like makes me feel like I'm not catering to what the community wants of me, and I am very much a person who lives to serve others, and I feel incredibly bad for not being able to cater to what everyone else would like to see from a booktuber and a booktube channel. And that is just something which has just been drilling into me every single day. I feel the anxiety to buy new books all the time, even if I can't afford them. And the only reason I haven't binged and bought like every single new release is because I genuinely don't have the money to do so. I cannot afford it. And so I just sit here with my shelves, which are mostly complete books, and I suffer. Confession number 7, I don't get a lot of time alone. I live with other people, which means a lot of the time my family interrupts my videos. And that is just stressful. And it's not really anything that's my fault, it's just stressful, it makes filming hard, I'm sorry, I feel anxious when I do it, and I talk quietly because I don't want people to overhear me, which again sabotages the audio. So my 8th and final confession is that I'm not very good at the social aspect of Booktube. I find it very hard to message people, to keep up with people on Twitter, to keep up with people on Instagram and on all of those other platforms. I find it very hard to get into that sort of area in life. Like, I don't know how to approach people. I've had this problem for most of my life. I just genuinely find it impossible to message people first. I need someone else to prove to me that they're invested in the connection, otherwise I just genuinely can't put in that effort. I have like abandonment issues and things like that, which I'm talking to a therapist, don't worry, but I genuinely have problems with forming bonds just because I'm afraid that I am the only person who's invested in that relationship, and it makes it very hard to, for lack of a better term, network within the Booktube community and make friends and actually get involved with things. Like, the closest I've got is I've been messaging a couple people on Twitter like once or twice, and not really having proper conversations, just the occasional, oh, I didn't know you were into this thing, that's cool, and then just the occasional once a week check-in of like, how are you doing? But yeah, I have a lot of problems with that. I find it very hard to start conversations just because of my insecurities. I know that that's a me thing. Again, these are confessions, they're all coming from me to you. So yeah. Number 9, I don't present my real personality to people via the internet. I present a very tailored version of what version of my personality I think will be successful with other people. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any confessions, if you feel like you're a bad booktuber and you have any confessions to drop down below, please let me know in the comments. I will also be doing a part 2 of this, which is bad reader confession. But yeah, this is my getting back into booktube series. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.